Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am coming to you with a special, I guess, video on one of the cast members of the new 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, season 4. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all for joining the family. And to all of my nieces and nephews who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so very, very much. This video is being taped with my members only. Welcome, members. So let me shout you all out today for those of you all who have come into the room. Hello, they're all about happy. Hi, Christy Tackett, and hello, Lori Tuttle. Okay, it looks like someone else is on, but I have not been able to see them yet. I'm hoping that you all can hear me very clearly and that everything is working perfectly. Okay. So, oh, well, hello there, Wanda Alfonso. Excuse me. Hello, Lola C. Hi, Nina Johnson. Thank you all so much for being such wonderful members. Y'all, we've got to talk about this particular cast member. I was on one of my favorite YouTube channels the other day, Nation of Recap, and just listening to the fellas. Hello, Randy Thompson. And I was listening to the fellas, and they were talking about this gentleman by the name of Geoffrey Paschel. We all have seen him this year have a love interest in Russia. And he appeared to be a very handsome man. He has two sons that live with him and one son that doesn't. He also gave us a story about how he had lost his one of his children, and that he was there when his child took their final breath, or his final breath. And it just seemed like he was like the perfect dad. Okay, so I've frozen. God. So we're unfrozen. Okay, everything that I have is just acting a hot tail mess, but we're going to go on with this. So it seems like, he was just this regular old guy like everybody else. And I don't know if this is the truth. According to articles, two articles that I'm going to be reading tonight, um, this guy is not as fantastic as we think. Hello, Lola C. Let me guess. He has a lot of skeletons in the closet. Yes, he does. Today I sent out a phone number to you all to call. We're going to do a call in, and I am going to open up the lines because I would like to get your opinion about this. Hello, Maria Roberts. Hello, sweetie. Welcome. Welcome. This is our members only live chat, y'all, and nightcap. All right. Hey, Miss Sonia. Hey, sweetie. So let me pull up these two articles that I found. The first one that I found is from In Touch Weekly. Now, you all know I usually share the screen with it, but we're not going to do that this time. But we are going to have a call in where we can talk with one another, okay, in a safe place. So it says 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days star Geoffrey Paschel made headlines before his reality TV debut. Okay, so now this is crazy. Country boy meets Russian beauty. Okay, so In Touch got so many ads, it's unbelievable. Like this thing is jumping all over the place. Country boy meets Russian beauty, 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days um, is introducing fans to six new couples, along with a seventh returning couple. During the season premiere, fans will meet Geoffrey, a dark haired, blue eyed single dad who is hopeful that his online girlfriend, Varya, is the one. Okay. So it says he is a 41-year-old from Knoxville, Tennessee. Native is a self described country boy who loves the outdoors. He works as a landlord and owns several properties throughout the Knoxville area. Growing up, he says, I was a bad boy, but all that changed when I became a father. Okay. Pascal is raising three sons from two different relationships. Pax and Dakota are his older sons from a relationship he had 20 years ago. He also has a 4-year-old son who I will not name. Okay, so Pascal also had a fourth child, and this is the child that he alleges passed away. Hey, Juncia. Hi, baby. Um, but the toddler tragically passed away. I've had a lot of heartbreak in my life, but by far the absolute worst is what happened to his son. He says, I actually had two kids with my recent ex. And then he names the children's name. In March of last year, 2019, his son actually passed away. He was a year and a month old. He was at the house and he had a seizure. While in the hospital, they put him in a coma. Several days later, they had him on life support, and I held him as they pulled the plug. Losing a child, and these are all quotes, okay, from him. Losing a child is the absolute worst thing that could ever happen to you. There's going to be a hole in my heart for the rest of my life, but I know that his son is around him, he says, and it gives him peace in his heart to know that. Okay. So then it starts showing these little pictures of him and stuff like that. So now, In Touch goes on to say that Pascal has been married a few times, and one of his former wives is the mother of his two youngest sons. He said his marriage to that mother didn't work out. It was devastating to him. So many failed marriages made it really hard for him to trust people again. But hey, Miss Michelle, but it seems like he's the one, okay, that can't be trusted according to these articles. If any of the information in these articles is true, he's the one that can't be trusted. Okay. It says, I was struggling to find that right person, so I wanted to change it up. He explains in his confessional. So he this goes on to talk about his relationship with the new girl and all of that kind of mess. We're not even going to get into that, all right? We're just not going to do it. So it says back in January, Pascal made headlines in local Knoxville news when he showed up in court for a status hearing as he was facing very serious charges and allegations. Pascal is facing aggravated kidnapping, domestic assault, interference with an emergency call, and vandalism charges after an alleged altercation that took place in June of last year between him and his then girlfriend. According to court documents obtained by InTouch, in the affidavit of complaint, officers stated that they arrived at the former couple's home after Pascal's girlfriend called 911 from a neighbor's house. Okay, now this woman then fled out of the house. Hey, Nina Johnson, and went out to somebody else's house to call 911. Okay, it says Pascal girlfriend called 911 from a neighbor's house and accused him of assault. Officers reported they saw bruises and abrasions on his girlfriend's forehead and her elbows and knees. So what was he doing? Dragging the bitch around the house? Like, this is absolutely horrible. At the time, he told authorities that his then girlfriend injuries were self-inflicted. So how in the world are you going to put bruises, scratches, drag marks on your elbows and on your knees, bitch. Like how did she self-inflict? But okay, let's keep on reading. He was taken into custody without incident, but while in custody, he allegedly tried to kick out the windows of the patrol vehicle. So is he going to say that the patrol vehicle, for some reason, hey Shanta Hughes, hey boo. So is he going to try to say that the police windows burst out on their own? Is it because it was a bump in the road, maybe a pothole, maybe a couple of pebbles or whatever, that caused these police windows to be kicked out? But okay. He allegedly tried to kick out the windows of the police vehicle. The document stated officers then determined he was the alleged primary aggressor and arrested him. His acts obtained a restraining order against him, which has been extended twice. Shortly after the incident took place, Pascal's estranged third wife filed paperwork to obtain full custody of their youngest son, which is still pending. He waived an arrangement for his criminal case. Okay, just one second, y'all. Since this web page was reloaded because of a problem occurred. I don't know what the problem is with InTouch right now. Oh boy, come on, InTouch. His ex-wife obtained a restraining order against him, which has been extended twice. Shortly after the incident took place, his estranged third wife filed paperwork to obtain full custody of their youngest son. What? Pascal waived the arrangement, okay, for his criminal case at his last court date on January 17th, and I guess that's of 2020. He told local newspaper Knoxville News that he is not guilty. He is due back in court on March 26th. So that was just one article from In Touch Weekly that we're reading about him, but I always like to try to get information from various sources before. I went out to go and look at something from Soap Dirt to see if Soap Dirt has something on there, and I could not find it. I don't know if it was out there before and they retracted it or what has happened, but for some reason, when I went out there to go and look, I did not see it. So this particular article is from the Ashley's Reality Roundup. It looks like she's a new blogger out here doing her 90-day fiance shizzle. And so we're going to use her since Soap Dirt did not have anything that I could use. So it says 90-day fiance before the 90 days star Geoffrey Paschel is allegedly still married. More abuse claims emerge about this mofo. This is absolutely crazy that if this man is still married and that more abuse charges have come out against him. Season after season, we try to, we're hoping that TLC, Sharp Entertainment, or whomever would do more of a thorough background check on these mofos out here in these streets. I don't know if that is not happening or if they already know about the information and they say that information doesn't relate to this particular television show. But I'm gonna tell you, year after year, we get the sketchiest mofos on this show. Now we know that half of them have crazy anyway, right? But for this to continue to keep happening, it says a lot about the network. But let's go on and read. So it says season 4 of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days doesn't premiere for another 2 months, but the stories being revealed about upcoming cast member Geoffrey are giving fans more than enough. Okay, so it says a week after it was revealed, Geoffrey had been arrested in June for allegedly assaulting his ex-girlfriend, not his 90-day love interest, Varya, and is facing charges of aggravated kidnapping, domestic assault, interference with emergency call, and vandalism. Sarcasm has unearthed more troubling details surrounding the star. So we're going to stop right there and we're going to go to starcasm.com to see exactly what they got out there. Okay, so let's get Starcasm real quick. We ain't got nothing but time, y'all. I got to go to work tomorrow, but it's going to be late. All right. So let's go and find some information on this mofo on Starcasm because one thing about Starcasm and Soap Dirt, they do their homework and or for the most part they do their homework. Um I have not seen many articles from them be retracted or anything like that. But let's go and see what we can find on Geoffrey. Okay. This is just like this right here, taking me a while to get to it, but I'm sure it's here. Hold on, y'all. They got so many other little boring things on here. We want the tea. We want the tea on Geoffrey, okay? I don't see like a search bar. Oh, okay, come on now. They covering everything, ain't they? Good. Googity goo. Hold on, y'all. We got my 600-pound life up on this blickety. This is now this is going just a little bit too far now. Come on. All right, let's see if we can find a quicker way to get to this. If they have some kind of search engine or something. Here we go. Before the 90 days, ex-wife accuses him of reselling prescription opiates. What? Using his children as a cover or a mule. Oh my God, this article came out on February 11th. You can tell I've been busy because I didn't even see that, okay? You're not going to see a whole lot of comments, Lola C, because you all are private members. Okay, and so it's not like we out there in the open. This is a private broadcast, so everybody is not here right now. And so you're not going to see a whole to see the chat um going. Okay, but don't worry about that, honey. You here? You here? So our coverage of controversial 90 Day Fiance before the night continues as we take a peek at his third marriage. Oh, so they got more on here of him. We'd be out this bitch all night reading his stuff. Damn. Whew. It says Jeffrey's ex references numerous allegations against him in the court documents, including his practice of selling opiate medication and historic involvement of his children as a cover or mules in his illegal activities. Good googity goo. What the hell, Stockasm? Lord, they got pictures of his tail. Jeffrey and his third wife, I don't want to use her real name and we'll call her Lisa, married on January 1st of 2007. Lisa was 21 at the time and Jeffrey was 8 years older at 29. The couple was married just over 5 years when they welcomed a son on January 3rd of 2012. The couple separated less than 2 years later on August 7th of 2013. Lisa filed for divorce on September 30th of that year, and the divorce was finalized by June 18th of 2014. There are no details as to the specific issues that caused the couple split, but Lisa did claim that Geoffrey was guilty of inappropriate marital conduct in the divorce filing. Lisa later provided affidavits in support of Geoffrey's current estranged wife Brittany's custody battle, in which she alleges that Geoffrey physically and psychologically abused his children when they were together, bitch. God dang. Soon after the divorce, Lisa relocated to Florida and she shared a split custody of their son with Geoffrey, who was still living in Tennessee, according to a lack of court documents to the contrary. The couple seemed to co parent without much issue for the next 2 years. But in February of 2016, Lisa married a man in the U.S. Army stationed in Seattle, Washington, and she filed papers announcing that she planned to move there. Geoffrey filed a petition protesting the relocation, stating that it violated the terms of the initial agreement, and he asked the court for primary custody that ignited a custody battle that has gone on for years and has yet to be resolved. At the center of the most recent disputes between Geoffrey and Lisa are her concerns that for their son's safety while in his dad's care. As part of a permanent parenting plan that was signed by both parties and a judge on September 2017, there was a stipulation requiring that Geoffrey sign a HIPAA complaint release that shall entitle mother to all of the father's medical and prescription records from any source, including but not limited to his prescriptions for opiate medication. Father shall provide mother with a list of all his prescribing doctors, pain clinics, and the pharmacies where he fills his prescription. This bitch said, I want to know if he on drugs, and if he is on drugs, what kind of drugs is the bitch on? It goes on to state if Geoffrey fills a prescription, bitch. Lisa said if he even so much as fills a prescription, I can ask for a hair follicle test to make sure he actually took the drugs. Yes, you read that correctly. A court mandated drug test to make sure the person is taking drugs. Lisa says the addendum stipulation was added to ensure that Geoffrey was no longer selling opiate medication. You mother. The stipulation also states that if Lisa finds out that Geoffrey was having his prescriptions filled at more than one pharmacy, indicating duplicate fillings of the same prescription, she can suspend the visitation immediately and seek appropriate remedies in the appropriate court. Could googity goo. Okay, let's continue on, bitch. This is a read. Geoffrey refused to agree with the HIPAA release after signing the parenting plan, which set off a series of motions and counter motions. He would eventually have the parenting plan thrown out due to Lisa's attorney error of filming a final plan with the court that was different than what was sent to Geoffrey and his attorney. On November 21st of 2017, before the plan was tossed by the judge, Lisa submitted a motion to suspend Geoffrey's co-parenting time. The filing states that he refused to sign off on the HIPAA release and adds the plaintiff has learned from a third party that the defendant is currently selling opiate medication. Roughly a year later, the matter was still unresolved. Lisa and her attorney filed a motion for protective order to ensure that any information obtained from the subpoenaed prescription drug facilities will remain confidential, but Geoffrey refused to sign off on that as well. Oh my God. The protective order motion included an excerpt of Geoffrey's deposition in the case. During the deposition, Lisa's attorney tried to get Geoffrey to answer questions about his bank statements and his tax filings. But the judge questioned what that information had to do with the case. And Lisa's attorney said the following, because I can establish that he has a bunch of unreported income that went into his bank statements, Your Honor, in big round numbers that approximate same time as those prescriptions were filled. It offered a purpose of impeachment. Good googity go. This interaction occurred after Geoffrey was asked about his 2016 tax returns and whether or not he had reported that he had a total income of $13,000. Just I'm rounding it off. Geoffrey managed to dodge the question just like pretty much every other question that was included in the deposition excerpts attached to the filing. He pleaded the fifth numerous times, including when he was asked what crimes he had been convicted of. He says, "You can't plead the fifth on that," the judge instructed him. He said, quote, "I honestly, to be honest with you, I don't recall what it was." Then replied, "I think it was possession, but it had nothing to do with opiate medication. So that's a fact." End of quotes. It sounds like Geoffrey needs to read our post about his criminal history for a refresher. Bitch, let's go to his criminal history. So Jeffrey's criminal history timeline. Cook, googity goo, did sarcasm through the research on this mofo. It says the network. It says, as we draw closer to the 90-day fiance before the 90-day season 4 premiere on February 23rd, it appears as though TLC is standing behind his decision to include controversial cast member Geoffrey Paschel. The network including Geoffrey in their newest preview trailer, despite the fact that he is one, currently facing charges of aggravated kidnapping, two, domestic assault, and three, more stemming from an altercation with his living girlfriend in June. He's also been accused of abuse by two ex-wives as well as his current estranged wife. Yes, Geoffrey is still legally married as he was when he filmed for the show. Now, y'all, I'm telling y'all, this is a lie. I feel like I've been reading for hours and I ain't done yet. We do almost on 30 damn minutes. So let's go down here. Let's go down here and read his stuff. We're going to read his stuff as it looked like his stuff starts when he was a little boy, okay? In September 2013, Geoffrey was arrested and charged with felony larceny, theft of services near Knoxville, Tennessee. According to the criminal complaint, Geoffrey had an accomplice. Geoffrey and an accomplice tried to steal more than $500 worth of lights from Home Depot, bitch. Who goes into Home Depot to steal lights and think you gonna get? Hey, Tracy Chappelle. Hey, Creole girl Nola. Hi, boo. Depot and got caught on the security camera. The incident occurred exactly 1 year before he was eventually charged. On Sunday, February 19th of 2012, at about 1400 hours, the defendant and his co-defendant went into the Home Depot located at 9361 Kingston Pike. While there, the defendant got five lights valued at approximately $595 and pushed them on a flatbed dolly to the exit door. The defendant then leaves the store to get the vehicle, and the co-defendant enters the store and pushes the dolly with the lights out the door, and they placed the lights in their vehicle and drove out off without paying. The incident was captured on surveillance, and both defendants are identified, and it was identified from a photo lineup. Bitch, they had these bitches led, standing up on the wall and was like Home Depot little sales lady, okay, working part time just to go ahead on and get you some money so you can plant your flowers in the backyard. Bitch, they had her on identified it. Geoffrey eventually pled guilty to a lesser charge of misdemeanor theft by shoplifting. In April of 2014, in addition to having to pay restitution to Home Depot, Geoffrey was also sentenced to 11 months and 29 days in jail. His alternative sentence was 11 months and 20 days of supervised probation. He said, I would assume that this means he spent 9 days in jail at some point, but cannot confirm the jail records. In February 2014, he was arrested in Florida and charged with misdemeanor petty theft and felony. The battery charge seems to be a battery of a public transit employee, but researching that abbreviated charge description includes other cases in Florida in which the battery was against a police officer. Bitch! So I am uncertain exactly what kind of public official Geoffrey was initially charged with attacking. Oh my God. The mystery surrounding the battery charge may be moot because Geoffrey would eventually have that charge dropped after pleading nole contendere to the misdemeanor petty theft charge. He was sentenced to 1 day in jail in April of 2014 and credited with 1 day already served. The next arrest that I could find for Geoffrey was June 29th. The arrest when I got back to my house. Okay. So the next arrest that I could find for Geoffrey was the June 2019 arrest for his alleged brutal attack on his living girlfriend. Here are the details from her order of protection filing filed immediately after the incident. Y'all could googity goo. She said, quote, when I got back to my house, I was attacked by Geoffrey. He repeatedly bashed, slammed my head into the hardwood floors of my home. He dragged me through the house by my hair and continued throwing my body into walls and furniture. I know this because of blood on my walls, furniture, etc. Also, the couch was overturned and the kitchen table was moved several feet. I screamed for him to stop multiple times. This went on for approximately 30 minutes. My nose was dripping blood into my mouth, so he made me wash my face with the lights off and blow my nose. He flushed the toilet paper down the toilet when I was finished. He then ordered me to get into my bed, which I did to stop any further abuse. He got on my phone and began deleting all my contacts, text messages, emails, voicemails, and my pictures between us. He spent about 2 hours on my phone while I laid in bed beside him pretending to sleep. He pulled the screen off the front of the phone and disabled it so I could not call or text anyone. Then put it on the bedside table. He also synced my iCloud to his MacBook. When he was finished going through my phone, he tried to embrace me and apologize. I told him not to touch me and quickly jumped out of bed and ran out the front door to my neighbor's house. I rang her doorbell and asked her to call 911, which she did immediately. Geoffrey was arrested after police spoke with him and his girlfriend, but that wasn't the end of Geoffrey's alleged aggression from the police department. In quotes, the arrestee was initially taken into custody without incident. While in custody, the arrestee attempted to kick out the windows of the patrol vehicle. Officers removed the arrestee. Y'all, what the? Exactly, Randy. Miss Sonia said he putting paws on everybody. Geoffrey was initially charged with misdemeanor domestic assault. Prosecutors would later add charges of aggravated kidnapping, interference with emergency call, and vandalism. He waived his arraignment at a court hearing last month, which essentially means he acknowledged the charges against him and pled not guilty. A new court date is set for this March. Hmm. Local news agency Knox News must have been made aware of our reporting on Geoffrey's arrest because they were waiting for him outside the courthouse at his arraignment. From the site, it says, quote, outside Friday's hearing, Pascal insisted he is not guilty and said he thinks his ex-girlfriend claims intentionally coincide with his pending child custody case involving his estranged wife. It's all about child custody, he told Knoxville News, end quote. As a result of his arrest, Geoffrey lost custody of his son to his mother, Brittany, who now lives in Canada and is unable to enter the United States legally. The two also shared another younger son named whoever, who passed away in February of 2018 at just 13 months of age. As far as Jeffrey's current legal issue, it appears as though he has at least four different court dates coming up in the next couple of months. He has two different custody cases with hearings scheduled, including one ex wife and his current wife. So then, how is he dating somebody? Okay, so then how did he even qualify for the show? If he is already married and not available to marry, then how did he even qualify as is a pool of crazy mofos to go on this show that small, y'all. This is just out and out, just makes me want to scream. The assault and kidnapping case has a hearing scheduled in late March. I would assume that this is the case that would be the biggest factor in TLC's decision to keep or to remove him. But they already got him on the show. So why would they even think to remove him? He's on the show. Hey, Wings and Mumbo Sauce. Hey, Sherry Davis. Hey, y'all. In case you missed it, TLC seemingly made any potential decision to cut Geoffrey from the show a little easier last week when they revealed an eighth couple to be featured on the new season. She says, I've stated since the very beginning that our coverage on Geoffrey that I didn't think TLC would choose to keep him on the show. I still feel that it is true, but my confidence levels are dwindling the closer we get to the premiere later this month. Here are the links to all of our installments of Geoffrey's Pascal Files. You all can find that on sarcasm.net. They said we will continue to update, include it, and include that. Oh my God. Terrifying details on the allegations made by Geoffrey's living girlfriend after he allegedly assaulted her in June. He was later arrested and is currently facing charges of kidnapping. Good googity goo. So it says he is still married. His wife says he abused her and she took their kids and fled to Canada. Information on the bitter split between Jeffrey and his estranged current wife, Brittany, included her taking their two children illegally and running off to Canada. Bitch, you got to be scared and you got to think that your baby's daddy, is one crazy mofo anytime you will illegally take them out of the country. Illegally take them out the country. Brittany also accused Jeffrey of abuse, and court documents Julia, Julia indicate that Jeffrey's third wife provided an affidavit to support Brittany. She said, "Bitch, I'ma help you." She said, "I'ma help you." After Jeffrey's arrest in June, Brittany filed for and got custody of her son. Jeffrey's second ex-wife says he repeatedly did the R to her in divorce filing, plus more abuse allegations. Details on the allegations made by Jeffrey's second wife during their divorce, including her claim that he repeatedly did the R word to her. There is also information about from her order of protection filed against him in which she alleges that he attacked her multiple times during their marriage, including one instance involving a shotgun and another with a knife held to her MFing throat. This is so disturbing. It's unbelievable. I have now opened up the phone lines. I'm going to put the number into the chat. I sent it to you all on my communication page, on the community page for the members. And I'm in shock. Like I'm in shock. I'm going to put the number here for you all to call in and tell me what you think about this mofo. Like this was so much information, and the number is now in the chat. Um, I would really like to know what you all think about this individual. Like, I'm serious. Like, what do you think about this individual? Unbelievable. He needs the money from Teal for restitution to his victims. You know, the thing about it, Miss Michelle, is that they really need to pay that money to the victims so he doesn't get paid. We're going to take our first caller. Hello there, calling you on with Auntie. Hi, calling you on with Auntie. Okay, did it cut off? Hold on, let's see. Because I got it on. Oh, I can't now. Wait a minute, we need to hear you though. And I just had it on. How you doing tonight? I'm actually homesick, so your video was very cheerful. Wait, I'm turning up. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we got this back on now. I don't know why the son of a. There we go. Can you hear now? Hello? Hold on. What is going on? Okay, try talking now. I got it plugged up too. Let's try this. Hello? Hello? Okay. I wanted everybody to hear you. The blue light is on this cotton freaking thing. Everything is plugged up right. The Bluetooth is on. And it don't want to play you. Okay, can you hear me? Hello? All right, so let's just use the speaker and I'll put you up here close. So who's calling? This is Nina calling in. Hey, sweetie, how are you? I'm fine. How are you doing? You need to feel better quick, honey. I hope you ain't got no corona, no Budweiser over there, no lower brow. Oh no, they told me it's strep throat, but this possibility is really working like. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna be keeping you in our prayers. What do you think about this? I was just shocked. At first, I was like, okay, that sounds like kind of normal crazy. You know, I work Jersey Shore. Ronnie had those same charges, but then when you got to the last one, I was like, nope. Who had it? Jersey Shore. Who was that? Ronnie from Jersey Shore on MTV. He got charged like that because like he and his baby mama were fighting over their daughter, and they were both. I think he like locked her out the house or locked her in the house. I think he got charged. Oh, what? Yeah, so I know they'll throw a kidnapping charge, like if you like don't let them leave the house or something like that. Um, but what you read about him dragging her by the hair and deleting her contacts and doing all that stuff, that's some sleeping with the enemy stuff. I'm glad that she was able to escape, and someone needs to warn. I don't know what happened. Hold on. I would suppose. I mean, if I was a production company, I would have known this information. I'm just saying. I would have known. There's no way in the world I would not have known about this.
Yeah. So, do they think that we wouldn't find out?
Well, they know that we will find out because they know what kind of nosy fans we are.
So they were just taking a chance that no one would say anything, that we would be okay with it.
I don't know. Are you gonna stop?
Any kind of regular. We've had some sketchy people on the show before. We had Ricky fake stuff on here still being married.
Well, Ricky wasn't doing all this though.
Storyline, but this is on sale.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, let me ask you a question. If they don't remove him off the show, are you gonna continue to keep watching?
Oh yeah, I'm not just gonna comment.
So that's why they don't have to do their due diligence. They don't have to, we don't make them responsible. We don't boycott. We don't say we're not looking anymore. You know what I'm saying? So they can have all kinds of characters on there if we are going to continue to not make them responsible for that.
Like I watch 90 Day Fiance for trash TV. I don't watch it to watch freaking Snaps or the ID channel. I'm not trying to watch the Catch a Killer.
And so what exactly? But now that you are watching it, okay, let's just be real about it. Now that we are watching it, what are you going to do about it? Because at this point, you're looking at Snapped. First 20, first 48.
Like, I'm invested. I want to know what Yolanda's catfish is. He actually going to send someone to the airport to pick her up, or just completely ghost her? Like, I'm interested.
Right. Well, that's why they don't do their research because
Yeah, but there's other people who want to be on the show. Like, they didn't have to pick him. We had like 8 couples this season. They could tell what's happening. I don't get it.
that's true. Well, maybe if there's enough outcry from people, they will discontinue. I don't think that um many people are going to stop watching because of this. I'm certainly not going to stop watching, but I am going to probably consider whether or not I'm going to be reviewing him, whether or not I'm going to even allow his name to come out of my mouth after this. You know what I mean? That's my decision. I have creative power over this particular channel, and I very well may not cover him. You know what I mean? Because this right here is disgusting. I've been through domestic violence in my own personal life, and I don't know whether or not I would even consider talking about him in my reviews. I can't hear you.
I'm saying good point.
Yeah, but thank you so much for calling in. No, remember I had sent something. I came out and did a video. Did you miss a video or five? I came out and did a members only video discussing that. Where'd she go? She got disconnected some kind of way. I don't know what is going on with this daggone thing where it would do something like this. Y'all hear it ringing? It is. So let's see. Hi, calling you on with Auntie.
Hi, Auntie. This is all about Happy.
See, it worked for you. I don't know what was going on with her. How are you, sweetie?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm sorry. I'm going to.
So, what do you think
Sorry
about this?
I think, okay, so I think that, in the United States, we have a presumption of innocence, and he hasn't been convicted of these charges yet. There is certainly a pattern of behavior, and I'm not one to question victims, but I think that these are really serious charges and they should play out in courtrooms and not on TLC. And I feel like I'm also in agreement with you that this is this is really serious stuff. I feel like TLC is exploiting. I think they knew about this situation. They knew that it would come to light, and that they knew that would attract views to their show. And it sensationalizes something that's really horrible. And I always respect that you protect the children, and TLC is not protecting this man's children, and this can cause them serious, significant, long-lasting harm. And if you decide not to cover them, I support that. I barely watch 90 Day Fiance anymore. I just kind of watch it so that I know what you're going to talk about. I'm here for you. But this other stuff, it's borderline child abuse, and TLC knows what they're doing, and they know, when Honey Boo Boo's mom started acting crazy, they pulled her off the air because it was damaging to children.
Well, what happened to Honey Boo Boo's mom?
Well, they had Honey Boo Boo they had their show, and then she started taking up with a convicted child molester, somebody who I believe was convicted for abusing one of her children. And when he got out of jail, Honey Boo Boo's mom, she was associating with him, and TLC canceled that show fast.
Was that a different production company that was working with them?
I
Because
don't know.
TLC is with Sharp
I don't know. I know
Entertainment.
it was a big TLC show though when it was on.
Okay, it may have been a different production company I don't know. I would think that TLC should have or would have known about this prior
Right.
to, because if anytime
Of
Stark
course.
has them and everybody else can pull this information up and his public court records out there, with all of these different things being alleged by him, there's no way that they did not know. And
These are these are serious allegations, and they've shown the producers on the show before, and they're just young people, and they have him traveling internationally with somebody who may be a drug addict, with somebody who may be physically abusive. They owe due diligence to their own crew, and it's really, in my opinion, disgusting.
yeah, it is really, really sad. Would you stop watching because of something like this?
I The thing is I'm addicted to you. It's not even 90 Day anymore. The show I think is so predictable and clickbaity and played out. And I mean I am interested in Big Ed. I do want to see what happens there. But overall, I think like I'm just here for my auntie. So I don't know that I will keep watching it. I
Wow.
probably will, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like this either. And thank you so much for watching because of me. I just, I don't know if it's their responsibility. I don't think that they are one of those shows who, how can I put this? It's not like they're one of them wholesome kind of shows. So,
Right.
where you expect to have a certain level of morality, or I don't know if I'm saying the right words, but they're just not like one of those wholesome kind of shows where you expect them to
No, I
have,
agree.
you
But
know what?
there's a line on it. Like Angela and her going on Maury and acting crazy, or, Ricky. I mean, that's just kind of like silly gossip stuff. But this is serious stuff. This is child abuse, neglect, domestic violence. This isn't drug abuse. This is really, really serious issues.
Yeah,
This
it
isn't the
is.
fluff that they've served up before.
It is absolutely the bottom of the barrel kind of behavior, because I've been through domestic abuse, and I know how it feels, and I know that even when I was going through it, um I I've said before, I did not discuss it. There was only one person that I
Hmm.
really discussed it with, because there's shame, embarrassment, fear, all of those things come along with being in an abusive relationship. And I wasn't prepared to
Right.
tell my family. I wasn't prepared to tell my friends. And it wasn't until I got out of it that I began to even slowly disclose what I went through. So for these women to go to the police, I know what it takes, the place that you have to be in order to, like this
Mhm.
woman said, she jumped up and ran out of the house to the neighbors. So can you imagine the
Right.
sheer fear that caused her to do something like that? Like it's just horrible.
Right. That totally resonates with me. But even more than that is complicated and complex as domestic abuse with somebody that you're in love with or that you have an intimate relationship with is to process. I think it's even more difficult for young children. And you know, his older boys are older, but they're enough where they're going to hear about it at school. And then the little one, you know, he's just going to grow up with they need a lot of support and it you know him being on this show is not going to help them, not going to help this family, those children.
It's not. Well, thank you so much for loving your auntie and for being a member and being patient during this busy season for me. I really do
Auntie, I'm
appreciate
so
it.
impressed. I don't know how you do everything you do,
I
but you
don't
know I
either.
know I can speak on behalf of all my cousins. We really appreciate you. You bring so much light and happiness and fun and interest. When I get to catch you, I'm just ecstatic. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We love
Oh,
you.
thank you. I love you too. Mwah.
Mwah. Good night.
Good night. Now, see, she came through just as clear as a whistle. Again, let me put the number in the chat for you all one more time so that we can wrap it up and we can go and talk about some fun stuff. Something is in my eye, and I have no idea what it is. So let me put the number of the chat back in. I mean, the number, the call in number. I'll take one more call. Put that in the chat for you all. It feels very good to not be worried about trolling and stuff like that. But I'm so used to my moderators being here saying, "Mods, can you put that number in the chat for me?" So I mean, I'm having to do that myself. I'm hoping that that number came in. Did it come in? Yep, there it is. So the number is in the chat. I'll take one more call and then we'll move on to some fun stuff. We'll end this live and we'll move on to some fun stuff. In order to unpack all of this, I would be talking, for days and for longer than we already have been talking. I don't know whether or not TLC is responsible for even doing background checks and caring about the character of these people. They're basically here to make a coin, and for them, I guess it doesn't matter how they make that coin. I think that controversy equals dollars, equals ratings. Some people never go out and look at articles, Instagram. They're not on social media. They only see what they see. So some people will only believe what they see on TLC. But then there are other people like myself and other bloggers and vloggers who are actually interested in some of these people backstories. But I just don't know how to feel about it. I think that I would have to rest on it for a while and make a decision on whether or not I'm going to cover him. Um, because it is really disturbing, especially when you have been a victim yourself. And as I have been, it is very disturbing. But again, these are all allegations. He is innocent until he is proven guilty by a court of law. Um, so we shall see. A lot of people believe that the young lady that's coming from Russia could possibly be coming into a bad situation. Hell, we don't know. We don't know, but we just going to have to, watch it for the entertainment value that it gives to us until and unless it gets really dark. If it gets really dark, like I can't watch it. One of the things that I do like is that TLC is not showing this kind of stuff actually on the screen, so um, that makes it easier to swallow. But I don't know whether or not it's their responsibility. I think that's what I'm wrestling with, whether it is their responsibility to tell us what they know about these people. Because it's not one of those morally correct or religious programs where we have any expectation that these mofos are true, that they really are who they are, that they work where they say they work. It's entertainment for us. It's really, the story is really just about 90 Day Fiance, um, before the 90 days, or 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, or I mean, we watched Larissa. Um, we didn't see the actual abuse or the alleged abuse on television, but we watched Larissa, you know what I'm saying, go to jail multiple times for assault and battery allegedly of Colty. Like, where do we draw the line if we draw one? Are we not entertained? Is this not what we want to see? Like, I don't know. I'm so conflicted in how I feel about it, but I can tell you one thing. If he has done this stuff, he is just one absolutely disgusting human being. Period, point blank. But thank you all so much for being here, members. I'm going to log out of this, and now we'll all be on the lookout for his temper. Absolutely. So I'm going to log out of this, you all, and get prepared for our next broadcast so we could just spend some time together chit chatting. And then I've got to go to bed after that. So I'm hoping that this next person that we're going to talk about bitches that it don't take us all damn day, okay? Because it was a damn hour. I was reading for 45 damn minutes. Bitch. Whew. All right, y'all. Love y'all. I'll be out soon. Thank you so much for being here, y'all. Mwah.